Previously on Cinema Therapy.
Well-meaning parents want their kids to feel like you're just like everybody else.
You're just part of the family, yeah.
You're just part of the family. You're just like everybody else. But Poe, it's very natural. You want to know where you came from. You want to know your story.
How did I get here, Dad? Where did I come from?
When Poe says you got to let go of the stuff in the past because it just doesn't matter, yes and no. Our past helped us get to where we are. But when we stay there, we're not focused on now or in the future. And he's been so hung up on where did I come from that he was neglecting, I have someone amazing who loves me.
I'm your son.
And we see in the third film that he can have both, but he shouldn't have one at the expense of the other.
Right.
You know?
I can't believe you're alive.
Oh, I thought I lost you forever, little Lotus.
Okay. This is very embarrassing, but I think you've got me confused with a panda named Lotus. My name is Poe.
Oh, right. You wouldn't know. Oh, okay. See, Little Lotus was the name you were given at birth.
Really?
Really?
I can't believe it after all these years and you're really here? This is amazing. Oh, Dad! Come, say hi to, I don't know what I'm supposed to call you.
I'm pretty sure he said his name is Lee.
Come here. Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking such good care of my son.
Your son? Now hold on just a minute. How do we know this stranger is even related to you?
Look at that. Our bellies could be brothers. Hey, son, let me teach you how to belly gong. All right. Belly gong.
Jiggle the same.
What? It's like looking.
I can't believe we're taking a picture together.
But I still don't understand. I thought Poe was the only panda left.
Oh, no. There's a whole bunch of us.
Where?
Here, a secret panda village in the mountains.
A secret panda? Whoa. But how did you know where I was?
I received a message that led me here.
How could you receive a message if no one could find you? Sounds suspicious to me.
No, it was a message from the universe. What's all this about a dragon warrior?
How did you know I was a dragon warrior? Did the universe tell you that too?
No, the poster did. And the gift shop. I bought a tiny cup.
Oh, right, of course. You have no idea. There's so much to show you. You're gonna be so awesomely proud. Come on.
So obviously we're seeing a lot of jealousy here with Ping.
From Ping, yeah. He's,
And worry of losing.
Sure.
Of losing this bond, of being replaced, which is the classic fear of an adoptive parent. And my advice is you have to trust that there's room in your child's heart for both.
Yeah.
Right? Now, sometimes in the case of the person who, gave the child up for adoption, what have you, they don't want to be in that child's life. They don't send a forwarding address, things like that. In other cases, it's everything from that to they're actively involved in the child's life from the beginning.
From the beginning, yeah, sure.
And everything in between. But the way to make it work is the same as having kids or finding love after death or divorce, or there's room in our heart to love. There, like so much more than
There's more than you think.
Yeah.
You can love a lot more than you think you can.
We can make room.
Yeah.
And Kung Fu Panda 3 is about making room.
Yep. Just the transitions,
The colors.
the design of all of this stuff. Oh my gosh. I'm just so impressed with these
Lunch
movies.
break.
You don't need to ask me twice.
Ow.
Dad?
Yes?
Dad?
Yes?
What are you doing here?
What am I doing? Getting a backache. Did you have to step on every rock?
Again, every Chinese auntie I ever had.
What if the pandas don't have food you like? You're never going to be able to save the world on an empty stomach. I consider my presence mission critical.
Oh, yes, about that. We can't share the location of the village with others. So...
Well, you think I can't keep a secret, huh? I raised Poe for 20 years before I finally told him he was adopted.
Seriously? Yeah. Okay. I guess it would be cruel to make you fly back.
You can fly?
I'm a bird, Poe.
so stupid. And it's so adorable. Like, and that, honestly, I don't think that works unless it's James Hong delivering it.
Yeah.
Like, someone of that caliber has to just really nail the, like, just world-weary, like, I'm a bird, Poe.
Well, in the first film, it's just presented and accepted this is father and son, and there's no explanation for it.
Sure, yeah.
And in the second film, I love when he's talking to Tigress about how he just found out that he's adopted, and her response is, like, how could you not? Yeah, just like the animals in the crowd. Like, the pandas are really stupid is like this thing that just like goes through.
It's so great. And the one that I love that they get to the village, and it's not just Poe and Lee. It's like, oh no, all pandas are real dumb.
But lovably so.
Yeah.
And what's curious is they're dumb, but they're also kind of wise, you know?
Yep.
And I think that also kind of describes me a little bit. Like I have no, like I have wisdom that helps people, and I have a fair amount of intelligence. But there are times that everyone in my life is like, how do you not?
How did you?
Lord, it's a miracle!
Is this my mom?
I had this done on your 100th day. Your mama couldn't hold you still. You nearly ate the paper. It's true.
What was she like?
Oh, she was the total package. Smart, beautiful, tremendous appetite. She was the love of my life. And then, just when I thought I couldn't get any luckier, along you came, my little Lotus. I really had it all. Until that one moment when I lost everything.
There's a sense of mourning and grief that is a necessary part of life for all of us. But very often, in terms of adoption, you know, it comes after an unplanned or unwanted pregnancy, or I'm not able to care or provide for this child, or sometimes children lose their parents and parents pass away and somebody else raises them. In these cases, even though you're dealing with a very small child, there is grief, and it's profound, and it's tragic, and it's hard. And in so many cases of blended families and adoptive families, making it work doesn't mean just soldiering through and being tough. It means making room for the sadness as well.
Right.
I love in the clip we watched just before this when he says, "Dad?" He goes, "Dad?" Poe's already at a place of integration where he accepted at the end of Kung Fu Panda 2, like, no matter what happens, Ping is my dad.
Yeah.
But then so is Lee, you know? And to him, they're both dad. And Poe he gets there faster because for him, it's just the benefit of, I have two dads who love
two
me.
dads, great.
Yeah, this is great. And something I love about this film is that Lee is never territorial or jealous.
Right. No, he, from the get-go, is just like, hey, you did a great job, thanks.
Yeah.
This is cool.
And even then, it feels like almost like a I'll take it from here moment. But then everything after that, Lee is like, no, there's room for you. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to take your place. I just want a seat at the table.
Yeah.
To the point of, okay, you can come see the Panda Village. And I don't know. I'm so used to seeing unhealthy relationship dynamics and lots of bickering, and then at the end it resolves itself, that to just see characters that are just good to each other, you know? And Ping is wrestling with it, and that's okay. But there's some beautiful resolution there.
Amazing James Hong comedy out of it.
You have a funny neck.
I'm not a panda at all.
What's that?
My hat.
What's that?
My beak.
What's that?
My wing.
What's that?
My dumplings. No more questions. Go away, kid.
You wouldn't want to deny us that.
No, I wouldn't. But to the point of, you talked about my co-parenting, co-dadding experience with my stepson Tyler and his father, is very, very early on, I took the attitude of, I'm a parent. And I talked to Tyler about what he wanted, and he wanted his dad to be his dad and his Jono to be his Jono, is what he said.
Yeah.
Oftentimes after divorce, someone remarries and they say, okay, you know, Steven is your new dad. And it's like, no, don't tell your kid that that's how it's going to be.
Right.
That they get to define that relationship because they need to have some sort of say in this. Like I say, I just think it's beautiful that the pandas are willing and ready to do this big blended family, and it's the goose that's dragging his feet because goose are murder birds.
Swamp full
Tell me about
murder
geese wrangling.
Look, I don't know. I do this for a living.
And they're hungry.
I've shot stuff with geese in it. Geese are the worst.
Yeah.
So many geese. If you want to see a longer, ad-free director's cut version of this, check out our Patreon.
Patreon.com/cinematherapy drops before it drops on YouTube.
It's neat.
I don't have more time. I need to learn it now.
Sorry, you're not ready. Okay, pack everything.
I am ready.
Not quite.
What are you talking about? I've done everything you've asked. I've mastered napping, sleeping in, hammocks, hot tubs. I am totally at
All the training you need to become a panda.
Show me!
Because I don't know it.
You what?
I don't know it, okay? No one does. Maybe we used to, but not anymore.
You lied?
No, Yes.
Why?
To save your life. I find out some blade-swinging maniac is coming for you. What am I supposed to do? Just let that happen?
Yes! I'm the Dragon Warrior, facing maniacs. That's my job. But because of you, I left the valley unprotected. I left my friends unprotected. And now they're all...
And you would have been too. I lost you once. I am not going to lose you again.
Totally get where he's coming from.
I can't.
You just did.
Totally get where he's coming from, too.
So often we think who's right and who's wrong.
We see opposition where in reality it's
different perspectives.
right.
And one of the greatest things you can learn is that there are a handful of things that are wrong.
Sure.
Right? Abuse, lying, cheating, these things are wrong. But most behaviors are just different perspectives. They're just going at it from different angles or wanting different things, and they're all valid. And even the lying here, like the lying was wrong. It was a betrayal of trust, but where did it come from? It came from a place of protection. And one of the things that I do a lot of in family therapy is helping people step away from we need one of us to be right and one of us to be wrong, instead of we have different perspectives and they're both valid.
We need to understand each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because how they can reconcile is to embrace and acknowledge the validity of each perspective. But we dig in our heels and we point fingers. And what I tell people in the therapy office is, you need to start treating this like therapy and not the principal's office, where one of you is going to get in trouble and the other's going to get off the hook, because that's not what we're doing here.
Right.
You know.
I spent way too much time in the principal's office.
Hungry?
No, not really. Well, maybe just one.
You know, you weren't the only one who was lying.
Huh?
I didn't really come along because I was worried Paul would go hungry. I was worried about you.
Worried that I go hungry?
No. I was worried you'd steal Paul from me.
I'd what?
I know, that was crazy. But I realize having you in Poe's life doesn't mean less for me. It means more for Poe.
Oh. Well, I'm not in his life. Not anymore.
Your son got mad at you. Welcome to parenthood.
You don't understand. I lied to him. He'll never forgive me.
I lied to him for 20 years. He still thinks he came from an egg. Sometimes we do the wrong things for the right reasons.
I love that he's still wearing his noodle hat.
He's hurt. He's confused. And he still has to save the world. He needs both his dads.
So, for you and your stepson and his dad, I assume, since you were already a therapist and you kind of went into it knowing what you were getting into and having, I mean, you were a therapist. This is literally your job before that. I assume you were kind of the Lee in this scenario. Was Tyler's dad kind of the ping? Did it take him a while to come around to co-dadding?
I don't want to speak for him, but my impression was that it was tense between us for about a year.
Okay.
And I see that now. Like, if there were ever a situation where someone else came in, I'd be worried, like, are they going to try and take my kids' affections from me and replace me? And I can't speak for him, but I know that after about a year, on my end, I was trying to show as clearly as possible that you are his father and I'm not replacing that. The whole idea of it's not less for me, it's more for Poe. Like for me, it was Tyler just has one more person in his life who cares about him. That's all this is. Like, what you two have is not going to be touched or diminished. And I think when he saw that, things shifted, and we've had a really healthy co-parenting.
Well, I know you guys are basically just like bros at this point, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, like, we don't hang out, but we talk, and it's just totally cool. And I love this scene. In fact, I don't even really want to comment on it too much because it's so strongly written.
The line of, I thought it would mean less than for me, but what it means is more for Poe that's a good one.
Yeah, it's really good. And I also love how skilled Ping is. You know, he's worried that he's going to get replaced by the new cool dad.
Sure.
But Ping has 20 years of parenting experience that Lee doesn't have.
Yep.
So Ping gets to come in and say, here's how you parent Poe. And the notion of he's scared, he's hurt, he's confused, and he still has to save the world is nudging Lee towards, if you're a parent, you need to think about what your kid's going through before what you're going through.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson, a new lesson for Lee, because he hasn't been at this very long.
He hasn't been doing
So
it.
yeah, that's awesome.
So Poe's about to get turned into a jade medallion.
We have to help him. Okay, everyone,
the spirit
gather
realm.
around. That's it. Come in close. Come on. We can do this. Poe, you taught us who we were meant to be. A father.
A friend.
A dumpling kicker.
A little fighting machine.
A hugger.
A nunchuck chick.
Sleepy baby.
A family.
Sweet.
Again, the art is great, but man, the effects work in all of the stuff in the spirit realm. And when I say effects work, I mean...
Yeah, what's the difference between the art and the effects work?
So in an animated movie, you'd be like, well, everything is art or everything's effects, right? Because it's all just an artist
That's what I would think,
doing
yeah.
stuff. You still, at an animation studio like this, you'll have animators who are animating the characters, and then you have effects people doing effects work just like people do in regular movies where it's like, okay, I fire a big sci-fi gun in a Marvel movie, and it has like smoke and vapor trails and all of that stuff. They're working with like computer simulations, but they're nudging the simulations to look a certain way. They're adding glows. They're making sure that it looks believable and plausible, not realistic, because it's the spirit realm. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
But it looks believable, and like there's a lot of energy and excitement and flash and boom. Man, the effects team at DreamWorks in this sequence just crushed it. Some of the best effects stuff I've ever seen in an animated movie, and it's all over the place. Right here, he's, digging his feet in, and it's cracking the stone, and it's blowing dust out, and it's blowing chunks of rock out. And then he's like spinning his blade things around, and they're sticking into things and ripping things apart. And every time you see any of that, that's a bunch of people working long, long hours. That's not, oh, I clicked a button on my computer.
Yeah.
That's artists really
No, they're
going
crafting
to
art. It's
town.
just the computer's the tool, and the screen
It's
is
just
the
a paint.
canvas.
Yeah,
but
it's just a paintbrush with
It still
buttons.
takes artistic talent,
Yeah.
major artistic talent, and training and experience to pull that off. Yeah,
And like this whole sequence is phenomenal work.
yeah, very, very cool. I was reading this book called On Grief and Grieving by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and it talks about your relationship with someone. They know you in a way that nobody else does, and that's true of every relationship you have because we play different roles, and in our different roles, people get different shades of us, right? That you, with one of your kids, they know you in a way that's actually different than another one of your kids, or your wife, or me. That there's you, but there's all these different facets of you. And what I love is that Poe has these different relationships with all these different animals, and he's shown them who they are, but he's also revealed different facets of himself just by virtue of having that connection. Like being a hugger, being a dumpling kicker, being
A nunchuck chick.
and being a family, like all these things, like how much we touch one another's lives. And someone you think you know what your relationship with them reveals to you.
Right.
And this is why our interconnectedness is so important. After I've had my mom passed away or my grandparents passed away, how much I learned about them from other members of the family, things that I'd never known, or aspects of their personality, or decent things, or things that they struggled with. It's so powerful. And how this ties into what we're talking about of adoption and blended families is I play different roles with different relationships, and I have room for more relationships, love, and roles in my life than I may originally think.
Right.
And the beautiful thing about a blended family or an adopted family where the biological parent is looped back in or searched for and gotten to know later in life is it doesn't diminish anything that exists. It just adds to it. It's just another relationship. It's another role. And in connecting with that person, I grow more. Poe grew as a panda in knowing his father, his panda father. But he also grew in knowing his goose father and in his friends and with Sifu. And that's the thing for all of us watching at home, whether we're part of a blended and adopted family or not, is our different roles define us, our different relationships define us. And we don't need to limit ourselves as far as what we are capable of, like Poe was doing earlier on, and saying, I'm just a panda, or I'm just a dragon warrior, I can't teach. We are limitless in our capacity for love and our capacity to do good and our capacity for growth. And if you ask me, that's the purpose of living.
I did ask you.
You did at the very beginning.
That's what I did.
Yeah, and I answered. It just took me a long time to get there. Skadoosh.
Well, thanks for sticking around for that answer. It only took however long this video is. 25 minutes? I don't know.
We'll see.
Something. So until next time.
I knew I wasn't eating up to my full potential.
I'm a bird, Poe. And watch movies. And thanks to our patrons who supported us and allowed us to make this episode, including people like
Zemjas,
sure, Megan Rizzo,
Emily Wassel,
Anita Pietrzak,
and Devoni Taylor.
Peter Zach.
Oh,
Anita from Poland, I'm guessing.
thank you for supporting us.
Peter Zach.
It's probably closer.